Can you do Christmas without going broke, without blowing the budget? That's what we're talking about today. This is James with Net News Ledger from Thunder Bay.
All right, everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep today. And, it's getting to be that time of year again.
That time when every store is suddenly playing Christmas music?
Yeah, well, kind of. We're talking about Christmas itself. You know how everyone wants to start the new year without debt from the holidays?
For sure, especially with everything going on here in Thunder Bay. It's definitely top of mind for lots of folks.
Yeah, and we actually had a really interesting article come across our desk about planning a totally budget-friendly Christmas Thunder Bay style. And we thought, why not unpack that?
Totally. Lots to talk about there.
So much, yeah. The article keeps mentioning this idea of budgeting bliss.
Okay, yeah.
And I have to admit, when I first saw that headline, I was like, budgeting bliss. Those don't really go together, do they?
Right, but it's funny because when you think about it, a good budget can be kind of freeing, right?
Totally. You know what I mean? Like, if you're actually sticking to a plan, you're not constantly worried about overspending.
Exactly. And that's where the bliss comes in. It's all about having a plan, not about depriving yourself. Like, think of it this way. A budget is like a roadmap to your ideal Christmas. And any good road trip starts with checking how much gas you have, right? So you got to look at your income, you got to see what your expenses are already looking like, and then you can figure out how much you can realistically spend on Christmas without totally blowing your savings goals.
Right. And the article really emphasizes this idea of tracking your spending.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you wouldn't believe how many people end up in debt after Christmas just because they have no idea where their money went.
Oh, yeah. I used to be terrible at that. All those little things,
Yeah.
like grabbing a coffee here, buying an extra gift bag there.
Yeah.
It adds up so fast.
It really does. It's like death by 1,000 candy canes.
Exactly. So what do you suggest? Like, should people be using some fancy app or?
Honestly, whatever works for you is the best system. Like, I know some people who swear by budgeting apps, but I also know people who just use a plain old notebook, and that works great for them too.
Right.
The key is to be consistent,
Right.
Write down every expense, even if it's just a couple of bucks for a pack of gum. That way you get a really clear picture of where your money is going.
Love it. Okay, so gifts, that's got to be one of the trickiest parts of a Christmas budget, right?
Oh, for sure. It's so easy to get carried away, especially when you see all the sales and stuff.
And the article, it talks about making a list, which seems pretty basic, but
It's basic, but super important. If you've got a list and you set a spending limit for each person, you're much less likely to overspend.
okay.
Like, think of your list as a shield against all those tempting impulse buys.
Ooh, I like that. A shield.
Yeah.
So let's talk about getting a little more creative with gifts, right?
Yeah.
Because the article also talked about, maybe not just buying everything, but like making gifts or.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I absolutely love the idea of giving heartfelt homemade gifts. But, gotta be honest, not everyone's gonna appreciate a hand-knitted sweater, no matter how much love you poured into it. So it's really about being thoughtful. Like, think about the person you're giving the gift to. What are their interests? What do they actually need? Maybe offering your time or skills would be a better gift than something you bought.
Yeah.
Like, you could offer to help with a project or teach them a new skill. That kind of thing can be so much more meaningful than a random object.
Totally. So, for those of us who are all about a good bargain, what about shopping smart?
Oh, that's my favorite topic.
The article mentioned it. What are your top tips?
Okay, so Black Friday and Cyber Monday, those can be amazing opportunities to save big, but it's also super easy to get caught up in the hype and overspend.
Right.
So my advice, always compare prices online before you buy anything.
Okay.
Take advantage of coupons, and don't be afraid to just wait for a better deal to come along.
Patience is key, especially during the holiday season. What about any other, maybe less traditional ways to give gifts?
Totally. Have you ever considered secondhand gifts?
Oh, that's a good one.
Or you could organize a gift exchange with friends or family.
Oh, yeah.
It's so much fun, you save money, and it's way more sustainable.
That's awesome. Win, win, win. Okay, so moving on to festive activities. I mean, Thunder Bay is really magical during the holidays, isn't it?
It is. It truly is. And there's so much you can do without spending a ton of money.
Yeah. Like what?
The Festival of Lights is always a hit,
Oh, yeah.
And then there are all the Christmas parades, free concerts at the waterfront.
Love that.
It's just so special to experience those things with the people you love.
Absolutely. And you don't need to break the bank to host a fun gathering either.
Right.
Like, I remember one year, my friends and I did a potluck Christmas party, and it was the best.
I love a good potluck.
Everyone brought their favorite dish, and honestly, we had so much food, it was like a feast fit for royalty. Plus, it took all the pressure off of one person having to cook and spend a fortune on groceries.
Exactly. Sharing the load and the joy, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And then the article also mentions DIY decorations.
Whoa, I love getting crafty, especially with my kids.
Me too. It's so fun to spend an afternoon making decorations together.
And it's so much cheaper than buying everything new,
Right.
right? Plus, you can get really creative and personalize your decorations. And it's a great way to be more sustainable, too. Like,
Yeah.
you can repurpose old decorations, get crafty with natural materials, even head up to thrift stores to find some unique
Like bats?
You might even find some hidden treasures. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting, right? Because the article starts talking about the true meaning of Christmas.
Yes. Less stuff, more heart.
Exactly, like focusing on quality time, generosity, just remembering what actually matters. Sometimes I feel like we get so caught up in all the shopping and decorating that we kind of forget about that.
That's so true. The holiday should be about creating memories, not debt.
Absolutely.
So it's about shifting your focus from the tangible to the intangible, Spending quality time with loved ones, sharing stories, playing games, volunteering at a local charity.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the experiences that create lasting memories and really strengthen your bond with the people you care about.
I used to volunteer at a soup kitchen in Thunder Bay every Christmas Eve, and honestly, it was the most humbling experience. It really put things into perspective, Made me appreciate all the good things in my life.
There's really no better feeling than knowing you've made a difference in someone's life, is there?
Nope.
Yeah.
So, as we wrap up here, what's the biggest takeaway for our listeners?
I think the biggest thing is remembering that you can have a truly joyful Christmas without going into debt.
Yeah.
It's about being intentional with your spending, getting creative with gifts and activities, embracing that spirit of generosity, and most importantly, prioritizing quality time with the people you love.
And imagine, waking up on Christmas morning feeling relaxed and grateful, not stressed out about bills.
That's the dream. So remember, everyone, take advantage of all the amazing free events Thunder Bay has to offer this year.
Yes.
Get crafty, have fun, and focus on creating memories, not debt.
All right, everyone. I hope this deep dive has inspired you to approach the holidays with a little more intention and a lot more joy.
And a lot less stress.
Yes. Thanks for joining us, and happy holidays, Thunder Bay.
Remember to subscribe to get more videos like this. This is James with Net News Ledger, thanking you for tuning in today.